அருணாச்சல வரக்கேற்ற அக்ஷரமணமாலை சாற்ற அருணாச்சல வரக்கேற்ற அக்ஷரமணமாலை சாற்ற கருணாகர கணபதியே கரமருளி காப்பாய் கருணாகர கணபதியே கரமருளி காப்பாய் அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல அருணாச்சலமென அகமே நினைப்பவர் அகத்தை வேறறுப்பாய் அருணாச்சல அழகு சுந்தரம் போல் அகமும் நீயும் முற்று அபிநமாயிருப்போம் அருணாச்சல அகம் புகுந்தீர்த்துன் அககுகை சிறையாய் அமர்வித்ததென் கொள் அருணாச்சல ஆறு காயனே ஆண்டனை அகற்றிடில் அகிலம் பழித்திடும் அருணாச்சல இப்பழித்த புனை ஏனினை பீத்தாய் இனி யார் விடுவார் அருணாச்சல ஈன்றிடும் மன்னையின் பெரிதருள் புரிவோய் இதுவோ உனதருள் அருணாச்சல உன்னையே மாற்றி ஓடாதுளத்தின் மேல் உறுதியாயிருப்பாய் அருணாச்சல ஊர் சூற்றோளங் விடாதுனை கண்டடங்கிட உன்னழகை காட்டருணாச்சல என்னை அழித்தி போதனை கலவாவிடில் இதுவோ ஆண்மை அருணாச்சல ஏன் இந்த உறக்கம் என்னை பிறரிழுக்க இது உனக்கழகோ அருணாச்சல ஐம்புல கள்வர் அகத்தினில் புகும்போதகத்தினிலையோ அருணாச்சல ஒருவனமுன்னை ஒளித்தவர் வருவார் உன் சூதே இது அருணாச்சல அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல
ஓம் நமः பரமரிஷிभ्यो நமः பரமரிஷிभ्यः ஹரிः ஓம் अन्तरायतिमिरोपशान्तये शान्तपावनमचिन्त्य वैभवम् तन्नरं वपुषि कुञ्जरं मुखे मन्महे किमपि तुन्दिलं महः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। यस्यान्तन्नादिमध्यं न हि करचरणं नामगोत्रं न सूत्रं नो जातिर्नैव वर्णा न भवति पुरुषो न नपुंसं न च स्त्रीं नाकारं नो विकारं न हि जनिमरणं नास्ति पुण्यं न पापं तत्त्वं नो तत्त्वमेकं सहजसमरसं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। मौनव्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानं वर्षिष्ठान्तेव सदृशिगणैरावृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपं स्वात्मारामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय यतये शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादिनगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। अपारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं करुणापूर्णसुधाब्धे कबलितघनविश्वरूप किरणावल्या अरुणाचलपरमात्मन् अरुणो भवचित्तकञ्जसुविकासाय त्वयि अरुणाचल सर्वं भूत्वा स्थित्वा प्रलीनमेतच्चित्रम् हृद्यहमित्यात्मतया नृत्यसि भोः ते वदन्ति हृदयं नाम अहमिति कुत आयातीत्यन्विष्यान्तः प्रविष्टयात्यमलधियाम् अवगम्य स्वं रूपं शाम्यत्यरुणाचलत्वयि नदीवाब्धौ त्यक्त्वा विषयं बाह्यं रुद्धप्राणेन रुद्धमनसान्तस्त्वां ध्यायन् पश्यति योगी दीधितिम् अरुणाचलत्वयि महीयं ते त्वय्यर्पितमनसा त्वां पश्यन् सर्वं तवाकृतितया सततं भजते अनन्यप्रीत्या स जयत्यरुणाचलत्वयि सुखे मग्नः। हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रं ह्यहमहमिति साक्षादात्मरूपेण भाति हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वतामज्जता वां पवनचलनरोधादात्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम्। शोणप्रभं सोमकलावतंसं पाणिस्फुरत्पञ्चश्रेक्षुचापं प्राणप्रियं नौमि पिनाकपाणेः कोणत्रयस्थं कुलदैवतं नः। चूडोत्तंसितचन्द्रचारुकलिका चञ्जत्शिखाभास्वरो लीलादग्धविलोलकामशलभश्रेयो दशाग्रे स्फुरन् अन्तःस्फूर्जदपारमोहतिमिरप्राग्भारमुच्चाटयन् चेतः सद्मनियोगिनां विजयते ज्ञानप्रदीपो हरः। शारदा शारदाम्भोजवदनावदनाम्बुजे सर्वदा सर्वदास्माकं सन्निधिं सन्निधिं क्रियात् राकाचन्द्रसमानकान्तिवदनां नाकाधिराजस्तुता मूकानामपि कुर्वती सुरधुनीनिकाशवाग्वैभवम् श्रीकाञ्चीनगरी विहाररसिकां शोकापहन्त्री सताम् एका पुण्यपरम्परा पशुपतेः आकारिणी राजते योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्नाम् अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचला अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचला நுண்ணுருவுனையான் விண்ணுரு நன்னிட எண்ணலைருமென்றருணாச்சலாம் நூலறிவறியா பேதையனெந்தன் மாலறிவருத்தருள் அருணாச்சலாம். Arunachala. It's also a Panchakshara, 5-lettered mantra which awakened Bhagavan, Ramana to this state. That is the opening key which opened Brahmajnana to him. And Bhagavan is giving the meaning of Arunachala in Patikam, where he says Aruna means Tattvamasi and Achala means Prajnana Ghanam. These two Mahavakyas, Prajnanam Brahma, Tattvamasi. These two terms Bhagavan takes and says Tattvamasi Aruna Porulam Achalat Artham Ghanam Adu Ahum. So the very import of Aruna is every time you look at Arunachala, he turns your vision towards what is within you, transmitting the knowledge of Brahman, Tattvamasi. You are that. See, we have the first person I, second person you, and third person he. He is an absolute object. You cannot contact it. The moment you contact, it is you. Relationship, related person. But when I tell you, how do you feel? Do you feel he is calling some you? No. Your experience is I. So, there is neither he nor you, and when you investigate whether the I is there, it also disappears. So the I also vanishes, and what remains is Ghanam. Bhagavan calls it condensed awareness, dense awareness, Sandra Avabodha, Prajnana Ghanam, pure awareness, dense awareness. Translate பண்ணலாமா? Ghanam, dense awareness. As it is in the deep sleep. When you wake up, you feel like going back to that state where there is no body, no mind, no I. Na kanchana kamam kamayate, na kanchana swapnam pashyati, tat sushuptam. That is deep sleep. The Upanishad says, neither do you desire, nor you dream, nor you sleep. There is pure existence is there. And that very existence is Arunachala. Somewhere Bhagavan has told, when I heard the name Arunachala, it was just like putting a bait to catch a huge fish. You just put that bait inside. That fish cannot be easily caught, but that huge shark of Mahabhava, it just swam, it came to the vision, and not only it swallowed the bait, but also the person who was doing the fishing, he was also swallowed. You're just inviting, you are waiting still with the bait. You don't know when that fish will come. It is not visible anywhere near. Like that, you're just holding the I within you. That is the mantra. And that is the tattvam. Bhagavan says tattvam. Tane tane tattvam. The I, when you just look at the I with absolute alertness, you now here you pay attention to the I and recognize that it is Vinnuru. Vin-uru means it is the infinite. As we said yesterday, it is the Chidakasha. Your inquiry, who am I, is also a thought, but in that thought, you feel the stillness of the truth. Chinta kumbha chidambaro vijayate Srinilakantho nidhi. That was what I forgot yesterday. Chinta kumbha chidambaro vijayate Srinilakantho nidhi. You get a great treasure. Nilakantha is another name for Shiva. You get a great treasure. Inside the pot of your meditation, you come and touch with that infinity. It is the Chidambara inside the Kumbha. Kumbha means the pot. Nilakantho nidhi. The great treasure is waiting for you inside. The mind has to become quiet. To make the mind quiet, you are holding to the root of the entire mind, the I thought. It is the thread with which the entire mind is made of. So when the thoughts are coming, you become intensely alert and observe and find that this this I thought is the center without which no other thought can happen. The moment you start observing the I thought, Tedinal otam pidikkum. Bhagavan said, the moment you inquire, you trace, it just runs away, it just vanishes. And there you find simple peace, Shanti, Prajnana Ghanam. That Shanti is Samadhi. That peace is Samadhi. That peace is another name for self. It is Mukti, liberation. And that is the greatest Tirtha Yatra, most purifying, sacred pilgrimage. That is to take the mind from outside and take it and repose it in the heart. Chumma Purundidang Arunachala. Bhagavan says, you just remain reposed in the heart. Just like a bird roosts. Let the mind roost in the self. Abide in the self. So the self is nunnuru, it is subtler than the mind. Actually, the mind is subtler than the space, because when the mind merges in sleep, space disappears. Nobody is aware of space while sleeping. So the mind contains the space. When the mind arises, entire creation comes out. What we call as ignorance or avidya is another name for mind. Shankaracharya says, Nahyasti avidya manasotirikta. What you call avidya is nothing but the mind. Manohi avidya bhavabandha hetuhu. This mind is avidya. It creates the bondage. Tasmin vinashte sakalam vinashtam. When the mind disappears, everything is gone. Vijrumbhidesmin sakalam vijrumbhate. When the mind springs forth, the entire creation comes out. So when the mind is quiet, still no creation. In Bhagavad Gita there is a beautiful profound verse. Ihaivatayir jidas sargaha esham samye sthitam manaha. They have transcended creation, samsara, suffering, transmigration, whatever you may want to call it. All the problems are transcended. Esham samye sthitam manaha. When the mind becomes sama, becomes quiet, still, undisturbing. Nirdosham hi. The dosha, flaw, the only flaw that you have is this jiva bhava, this individual sense. Nirdosham hi samam brahma. When the jiva bhava is ignored, it is removed, there is that sama, there is that stillness, shanti. Tasmat brahmanite sthitaha. Such a person is established in Brahman. So, ennalai irum endru Arunachala. So, here Bhagavan has given us a prayer when we come to Tiruvannamalai. The only question that we have to, prayer is a question here to Arunachala. Arunachala, when will my mind become quiet? The only question. The only thing that a sadhaka has to do is somehow make the mind abide in peace. No other problem. When the mind is given up, entire world is given up. When mind is not given up, you give up outer things, you go to Himalayas cave, Virupaksha cave. Wherever you go, it will haunt you. There is a story. When sage tried to meditate in many places, he found everywhere there is disturbance. Wherever you go, there is disturbance. So he decided, he had so much occult powers, so he made that Yamuna water, river Yamuna, he made her frozen and entered the river, started meditating. It's a good idea, no? Especially in Tiruvannamalai summer. But the problem is you will not find any pond with water. So just staying underneath the water, such a vidya is there. You can try. Some sadhana you do, and it will be very cool. And he started meditating inside Yamuna. His name is Saubhari. And after some days, he became familiar with the area inside the river. And he became friendly with all the fish there. And slowly he started identifying one fish from another fish, started giving names to fish. And through days, he started recognizing wife, children, grandchildren of those fish. And one day he thought, I am an anchorite, a tapasvi. I have given up everything with all Jada. I am sitting here foolish. These fish, they are having good family life. Sometimes, sadhakas, they start thinking, I am alone, nobody to look after. These family people are very happy. They have children, grandchildren, everyone very interesting. Grihastha sarasoloke, putra pautra dirupavan. Everything is there for a grihastha. I don't have anyone. And then he gets married. Then he looks at all the sannyasis around, how happy they are. No problem. Very happy. So this, he decided that he should get married, came out of the river. And with all his jada, matted locks, and very not at all attractive. So he went to the king and said, you have 50 daughters, give one daughter to me in marriage. I want to get married to a princess. The king felt it is very dangerous to say no, because he is a sage, he will curse you. So the king said, diplomatically handled the situation. He said, you go to the harem and whoever likes you, choose her. This is the diplomacy. But he is a great tapasvi. All siddhis are, he understood what the king meant. He just did something like this. He became so beautiful, handsome. And there was a fight issuing inside the harem. And he married all the 50. So, all this because he searched for a suitable place for meditation. So, be very careful. You will never find a suitable place for meditation outside. This is a mistake which any seeker can make. Constantly, that is what Bhagavan told Annamalai Swami. Annamalai Swami, when he wanted to go to the cave in the Arunachala and meditate, Bhagavan said, if you have sankalpa like this, you have to take another birth to fulfill it. Meditate now. Wherever you are, be free of thoughts. Do not forget your real nature. Hold on to the I within you always, whatever may be the situation. That is what Bhagavad Gita also says. In the war field, remain in samadhi. This is what a powerful declaration. Krishna says, remain in samadhi and fight. Arjuna says, foolishness. How can a person remain in samadhi and fight? Krishna said, fighting is your prarabdha. You are not doing. The body will do whether you are interested or not. But to be free of the doership, to be free of the feeling that I am the doer, I am fighting this I. And that current, that Shakti will work through you. Whatever must happen will happen through you. Your freedom is in freedom from this doership. To remain as the self, to remain in that substratum where there is no action. Karmani akarma yav pashyed. And karma will happen. So wherever you are, make the mind remain peaceful, shanti. And that is samadhi. That is the greatest spiritual practice that one has to do. To remain quiet, shanta. Nunnuru unayan, vinnuru nannida, ennalai irum endru Arunachala. And the next verse, Noolarivu ariya pedayan, endan maalari varuttarul Arunachala. Noolarivu means scriptural knowledge. This is the general translation. First I will give that. In Tamil, if I speak in Tamil, it will be more profound certain aspects. Noolarivu means scriptural knowledge, bookish knowledge. Or you can say systematic study of the scriptures also. Bhagavan says, I have not studied scriptures in the proper way. Pedayan means I am an ignorant person. Bhagavan will say like this, but he knew everything. Jagadisha Shastri, a great scholar, in his introduction to Upadesha Saram, he says, if we go and ask Bhagavan about even Brahma Sutra commentary, Bhagavan will guide us, provided we are very sincere with the doubt. But if some casual speaker comes, one day when Swami came from Kerala, and Bhagavan was sitting with all the devotees binding books. And this Swami came and started pulling Bhagavan for debate in some scriptural things. Bhagavan did not even utter one word. He was constantly telling some Sanskrit verse, something. Bhagavan was not at all answering. At last Bhagavan said, do you want a written document that I don't know anything? I will give you in writing and put signature and give it to you that I do not know anything. And at last Jagadisha Shastri stood and he said, Dushta Bahirgacha. He said, you fool, you go out. So such people will come. You start an ashram, you are out for trouble. All kind of people will come. And they think anyone can trouble you. So, Bhagavan said, I do not know. To Kunjaswami once, Bhagavan said, for convincing others, you need no scriptures. you can better say, I do not know. Then they will leave you. Otherwise, you quote some scripture, they will quote something else. This will go unendingly. So the best way is, better you say, I do not know. Aprakyapayanatmanam. Shankaracharya says, even a knowledgeable person at last has to leave that knowledge and become child, like a child, innocent like a child. The knowledge is only to turn you towards the ever existing Chit, the self. And once you recognize it, you are Purna, you are whole. Ignorance is gone. Ignorance is more what? Atmanaha aspurtihi avidya. Shankaracharya says, the state where the self is not shining forth is ignorance. Where you are unable to recognize, turn towards that something which is more splendorous than the sun. Because even to see the sun you need eyes. But to be aware of your own aham, I am, you need nothing, and there is no way that you can manage not to see it. There is no way that you can become ignorant. It is impossible to be ignorant. It is impossible to be a samsari. Because it is ever shining forth. There is no darkness there, there is no ignorance in the real self. But yet, one thing you have to do is to turn towards it. And all the scriptures are there, true scriptures. Generally, there is a tradition that you should not read books that have not come from a realized being. Called Upanishads or Bhagavad Gita. This, like that only they traditionally they study. Granthan abhyased bahun. Do not read much books. This is an instruction. But yet you should get the knowledge also. The essential teaching must go inside. And certain books Bhagavan also prescribed, like Viveka Chudamani, Ribhu Gita. Many books Bhagavan said, there are places where they describe the Samadhi state. You read them, especially before going to sleep, you read such portions, the mind will remain in a state of Samadhi, then you go to sleep. And the very sleep will be Samadhi, Nidra Samadhi Sthiti. This is a very helpful instruction. So the scriptures are there to turn you towards the essence is Mahavakya, Tattvamasi. You are that. And you have to experience that in your very being and be free of suffering, shoka nivritti, samsara nivritti. That liberated Jivan Mukta Sthiti. So without that, simple scriptural knowledge is useless. Noolarivu Ariya Pedayan Yendan. Bhagavan says, I do not know many of these scriptures, Bhagavan. Malarivu, my ignorance, remove my ignorance. Malarivu means ignorance. Noolarivu, malarivu, valarivu. Three things are there in Tamil. This Noolarivu is scriptural knowledge. Valarivu, generally verbally translated, it means knowledge of the tail. When you have to catch hold of a snake, you have to catch hold of the snake in the tail. Like that, there is a tail for Brahman. Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. The tail is, Pucham means tail. The tail of Brahman is what you feel inside you as I. So the real Valarivu is this knowledge of this Pucham, Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. Hold on to the Pucham and you reach Brahman. You hold on to this I and you dive deep and touch the deepest core where there is absolute freedom from all suffering. You are eternally free from body, mind, ego, everything. There is absolute shanti there. So, the purpose of Noolarivu, scriptural knowledge, is to give you a clue about the truth. And the clue is Valarivu. And with that clue, you go and touch the infinite, what is meant, the Lakshyartha. So the prayer is, remove my Malarivu, my ignorance, O Arunachala. Noolarivu also means the same. Nool means thread. Thread. You catch hold of the thread of this I thought and go inside. If you don't get that message, you will go on reading books, go on doing sadhana. That is the greatest explosion that came through Bhagavan. Simple thing. Somebody asks some doubt, Bhagavan asks him, who is the doubter? When someone is suffering, Bhagavan is asking him, who is suffering? Sometimes this work, this Noolarivu, this knowledge which can turn you towards your real being, is the greatest help that a master can do. There is one anecdote which Ganeshan often used to say about Major Chadwick, that after coming here to Tiruvannamalai, such a great soul, very saintly person, after 2 years, a kind of restlessness came to him. And he tried to overcome that. Spiritually, many people, they feel that state of what perhaps the Western mystics call as dark night of the soul. You are neither here nor there. There is a kind of desert inside. Bhagavata calls it as Duravagraha Sthiti. Clouds are there, earth is parched, but not a drop of water. So too, everything is available. You are in Tiruvannamalai, Satsang is there, scriptures are there, but inside there is a shunyata, a nothingness. You feel dry. There is so much thirst, longing inside to quench the thirst of peace. In that state, he tried everything and at last went to Bhagavan and told Bhagavan, I feel I am useless, I have to go back to my place. No sadhana is working. People think I am a great sadhu now. And some people, they prostrate also. But I feel I am not truthful. I am not able to remain in that state because the grace period is there. Oh, when come to Bhagavan also, the grace period is there. That is, in the very beginning you feel you are already one with him. Suddenly you feel you are enlightened, realized. You can see many people like that. They became realized and after 2 years unrealized. So Chadwick said, Bhagavan, what should I do? And there Bhagavan's that Nayana Diksha, we call it, that look of Bhagavan, that gaze, he just looked at Chadwick and said, Chadwick, who is having this problem? It's a simple question which he already knows. But when Bhagavan asks it, it is like shooting an arrow. Who is having this problem? Bhagavan's that look and that questioning, his body was just like a can, inside it was like a fire. He could not withstand that look. He just ran away from Bhagavan's place to his cottage. And Anna has written about it. He told 1 or 2 days he didn't come out because to face Bhagavan itself was a fear. Because Bhagavan will look at him and that very look was, who are you? Who is this I? Which tells all these problems, this suffering, not progressing spiritually, this difficulty, identifying with a body, mind. Who is this I? His body was shivering, and on the 3rd day or something, he was taking bath, and suddenly he felt so light. Who am I is not a question. It is a fire which awakes within, which wakes up within, and holds this I feeling. It is actually the Kundalini Shakti. It is the Atma Shakti. Bhagavan calls it as Atma Shakti, Kundalini Shakti, Chit Shakti. Just woke up, and in a moment there was no problem, there was nothing, there is no one to suffer, no one to reach anywhere, attain anywhere. He felt so light. It was just like as if he has taken a snana, a bath in celestial Ganga, Akasha Ganga. He just ran to Bhagavan and asked Bhagavan, screaming, he came and asked Bhagavan, Bhagavan, is it so simple? And Bhagavan said, yes, Chadwick, it is that simple. Only that much is there. Avlodam. It is that simple. See, this process, this alchemy, you need Bhagavan. Guror anugrahenaiva puman purnah prashantaye. There is a statement, only by the grace of Guru one attains wholeness, perfection and shanti. And you know who tells this? Sri Krishna tells this to his friend Kuchela, Bhagavata. Krishna tells, I am a rich person, I am peaceful. You are a very poor person, you are also peaceful, because both of us had the same master. Both of us stayed with the same Guru, and he blessed us so much that in abject poverty you are remaining as a Brahmavit, as a sage, as a jnani. And it is equally difficult to remain peaceful as a rich person. With all luxury around, everything around, I am also peaceful. So, Guroho anugrahena eva puman purnaha prashantaye. That prashanti, there is shanti inside. And that shanti is always there. This is the blessing that is being sought to Arunachala. Because nularivu, scriptural knowledge is not bestowed to all. And for everyone it is not needed also. You need only the essence. Sometimes many people, they cannot remember everything. There was an anecdote published when he was in mountain path, that one Christian priest was going everywhere to spread the scriptural teaching. Once he ended up in an island, there also few people were living there, and they were not very aborigine like people. And they also have a religion. They are doing some prayer. And this priest, he asked them, who is teaching you all this nonsense? They said, we also have a masters here. 3 of them. They are wearing a sack and remaining somewhere in a place, desert-like place. So he went and asked them, how did you teach all this nonsense to these people? They said, we don't know anything. Whatever we know, we teach them. So please pardon, give us the right knowledge. They were so humble. So he tried teaching them a long passage of a prayer. They said, we cannot remember. All this thing, after hearing, they said, we cannot remember. So he became compassionate, cutting it down one line. That also they said very, very difficult. So again, he decreased a small passage, small phrase he gave, that they were repeating, trying to remember. And the priest felt, I have to go away from this place, somehow giving them this. So he will walk 10 steps, they will come behind and ask, excuse me, we forgot. And at last he said, you remember it, this is for the last time I am giving you the teaching. He taught them and ran away to his ship. So got into his ship and he was leaving in the sea. Suddenly he found in the midst of the ocean a light. In that these 3 saints, they are running. Father, please teach us, we forgot. They were already siddhas, accomplished saints. See, so sometimes you don't need scriptures, but you need the essence. You need the essence, certainly, because scriptures have come. Our Bhagavan's teaching is also a scripture. Nochur is a scripture. Ulladinarpad is a scripture. It's all perfect scriptures. But you need not know everything. You need the essence. You need the cream. The teaching has to go inside. From experience, all scriptural knowledge will come. Tattvam theriyada attanai uttrai, tattvam iduvan Arunachala. When Bhagavan came here, he was not aware of all these Vedantic scriptures. He just was merged in that inner light. In Arunachaleshwara temple, under the Ilipai tree he was sitting, but it was the divine dispensation that some saints constantly came to his presence and started reading the scriptures. And he absorbed everything. And later on, in the hill also in Guhai, Jadai Padmanabha Swami cave, there was a library. He used to go there and read books. And that Swami used to wonder what this boy will understand. One day they were having a discussion on Vedanta. They could not reach any conclusion. Suddenly they found somebody giving a crystal clear answer. And they looked from where this answer came. Bhagavan was looking at the book and he was giving the answer to them. So it is not that he has not gone through the books, but first came experience, then this knowledge. As Ramakrishna used to say, after the fruit, the flower comes. Generally, after the flower, fruit comes, but in such cases, the fruit appears first, then the flower. So, Nularivarya Pedayan Yendan Malarivu Arittarul Arunachala. Arunachala, remove my ignorance, my avidya. Real method is you have to go to a teacher, listen to him, meditate, contemplate on the teaching and realize that process has not happened, but your grace can remove that obstacle, remove the avidya, turn my mind inward, let me pay attention to this nool inside. The nool, the thread inside, this I, which is the only changeless factor in my being. The body is undergoing change, mind is changing, intellect is changing, but my own awareness, existence as aham is changeless. To recognize that is the essence of all the scriptures. So remove my ignorance. This can be kept as a prayer. Cut my ego at the root, along with its perverse illusory knowledge, and reveal the supreme self-knowledge to me, who is ignorance with no scriptural knowledge. This is perhaps Muruganar's translation. So, this is Bhagavan has given us a prayer in this form. Nekku nekku urugiyan pukkida unai pugan nakkanai nindrane Arunachala. Nakkanai nindrane Arunachala. Bhagavan says, when I came to you, you stood before me naked, without any covering, without any avarana. Nekku nekku urugiyan pukkida. Pukkida means puhundida. When I entered there you stood without any avarana, anavrataha. Nakkanai nindrane Arunachala. In all grandeur you stood there. As the vast sky, expanse of pure consciousness. So this is all his experience of that samadhi, that nirvikalpa jnana. Nekku nekku urugi. The beginning is melting of the heart. My heart and body melting with intense devotion. Nekku nekku urugi yan pukkida. So when Bhagavan came here, he came with that state of melting. The heart was melting. When he entered Tiruvannamalai, and the moment he came to Arunachala, he looked at the hill, and Arunachala initiated him. Arunachala has initiated him right from Madurai, but in Tiruvannamalai, the real initiation took place in the presence. Tirumbi aham tanai dinamaha kankan. This is the initiation. Achalamai kanden, kandavan yavanena karuttinul nadan. The moment I came to Arunachala, he said, turn within and ask, who am I? This teaching which Arunachala gave to Bhagavan, Bhagavan gave to us all his life. So I came here with my whole body and mind melting with devotion. You can see I am going to my father. That was Bhagavan's statement. I am going to my father's place. You need not search for me. With this bhakti, with this melting heart, Bhagavan came here. Pukkida, when I entered here, Nakkanai nindrane Arunachala. Arunachala, you stood before me as the Chidakasha, as the infinite Purna whole. When the mind actually, generally people ask, Jnana Yoga is intellectual. We need bhakti, because in the bhakti the heart melts. But Bhagavan says, when the mind goes to the heart through enquiry, it melts. Hariyadidara jeevara dahavarija guhayil Arivayirami Paramatman Arunachala Ramanan Parival Ulam Uruganala Paranandidung Guhayarnd Arivam Viji Tiravai Nijam Arivai Adu Veliyam. When you enter the heart, Uruga, when the heart melts, when the mind it's just like Chintamani. And in Tiruvannamalai there was a great saint, Arunagirinathar. He led a licentious life formerly. At last he felt desperate, useless, despondent. He wanted to commit suicide. So inside the Arunachaleshwara temple, the second Gopuram, that Vallala Raja, Maharaja Gopuram, he climbed that Gopuram and from there he jumped to commit suicide. He said Muruga, he chanted the name of, spontaneously that name came to him and jumped. And after that he was not aware what happened. Somebody held him. And when he opened his eyes, he saw only Lord there, Ishvara, in the form of a sadhu only. And he said, Chumma, be still. This is the only Upadesha which our Arunachala knows. Chumma. He said, Chumma. And he remained in that stillness. And you know what he says? Till now, I have enjoyed all the pleasures, but the result is my heart has become a very hard rock, stone. But when the master came and gave me this teaching, something from inside started melting. It is just like that the rock has started melting. Nenja kana kallum negilndu uruga. That strong solid rock of my heart started melting. So the real melting is not sentimental. It happens either in the presence of a Mukta Purusha, a liberated being, or when the mind goes deep and touches that strained jewel inside you. Arunachala inside you. The moment it comes in contact with it, it is like iron touching the philosopher's stone, what they call the Chintamani. The moment it comes in contact with it, it also becomes gold. Like that, when the heart uruhi, the real melting happens when the mind enters the heart center. Actually, that is the sign that you have found the spot. Bhagavad Gita says, Sthanam prapsyasi shashvatam. Outwardly, you surrender. Inwardly, you locate the spot. Outwardly, you are in a divine presence, and inwardly, you recognize it by the blossoming of the spot, the lotus inside. Suddenly you find you have found a very sacred place, spot inside. The journey is over. Outwardly you have come to Bhagavan. You are in the presence of Bhagavan. Inwardly you have arrived in Arunachala, real Arunachala. Shankaracharya says, this is coming to Kashi. He says, you want to come to Kashi? The mind running outside has to withdraw and enter the heart, there you find Kashi, the Mahasmashana, the great cremation ground which burns all the attachment, names and forms and everything. Mano nivirtif paramopashanti. Sa Tirthavarya, the greatest Tirtha. Sa Tirthavarya Manikarnikacha, that is Manikarnika. Sa Tirthavarya Manikarnikacha Jnana Pravaha Vimaladi Ganga, the primordial Ganga flows there. Jnana Pravaha Vimaladi Ganga Sa Kashikaham Nijabodharupa. Shankaracharya says, I am that Kashi. I am that Kashi. Sa Kashika Aham. That Kashi is me. That Kashi means the luminous state. And that luminous beingness is me. Sa Kashika Aham Nijabodha Rupa. It is of the nature of pure awareness. It is of the nature of pure intelligence. Prajnana Ghanam. So the outwardly running mind just withdraws into that great womb, the heart, and there it finds that luminous spot which Bhagavan calls as heart, and there it really melts. You know what that melting is, that something very strange happens. It is not like any other experience you can have in the world. It is not emotion, it is not sentiment, it is not anything that you have already experienced. It is a profound peace, a feeling of total release. You have touched freedom. You have touched real freedom, a freedom which is beyond the body, beyond time, space. A freedom which is not your property. It is eternally there. Then, as you have not earned it, you know that you have no freedom to lose that freedom. In that recognition comes great relaxation. Freedom from all this feverishness of effort, this feverishness of attainment, achievement, this feverishness of stress. Everything goes. You become absolutely boundless. You know by experience that there is no body and there is no mind. There is no I. And in that, your spiritual life comes to real fruition. Sajayati Arunachala. Bhagavan says he wins. He finds the true victory. Velgum. This is the Tamil word. Velgum. He finds real success there. It is just like that he has found the spiritual terminus, the fulfillment there. That Bhagavan calls as Nakkanai Nindranaya Arunachala. Nakkan means Nagna, means naked. Chidambara also means naked. Only the space is his dress, no other dress. The body itself is not there. Ashariram. Sharireshu. Anavastheshu. Avasthitam. Mahantam. Vibhum. Atmanam. Matvadhiro Nashochati. The Kathopanishad says the Dhira, that brave one, no more grieves, no more suffers, because he has found that bodilessness inside this limited body. It's a mystery because the body is there for some more time, but for him there is no body. The others see body in him, but he has no body. Bodilessness is his very nature. Bhagavan says bodilessness is not a state that you have to attain. It is a foregone conclusion. This is Bhagavan's words. Bodilessness is a foregone conclusion. It is the very nature of the self. Hence he calls it nakedness, ashariratva. And that ashariratva devotees saw in Bhagavan when that terrible disease was doing so much damage in his body. They saw Bhagavan declaring with all tranquility, there is no body. The body was suffering. You are seeing the suffering. But inwardly there is that freedom from body idea. That is why Bhagavan in Ulladanarpada says, nobody can imagine that state. Those who have not touched that, tasya sthitim bhavayitum chamakaha. Who can imagine that state? It is not possible. So, nakkanai nindrane Arunachala. Hence, during Kartika Deepam, every day you will see Arunachala coming round the temple. Every day there will be a change of murti. And there is one day he will come as Nakkan, as Bhikshadana. Naked form, he will go round Tiruvannamalai begging. And Bhagavan also did that. As a Nakkan, he did begging here in Tiruvannamalai. So we should be very proud that we belong to the lineage of beggars. And the first beggar is Ishvara. And he has a good vessel to beg, and that is the skull. At least use it for this, he says. Don't use it for thinking. No more thinking. Take it away and use it for eating. Nakkanai nindrane Arunachala. Nakkarahi nayandu Ramanare pukku pichai pulambit tirivadem. Takkavaruru tayyalu taviyar sikkana kudi vaalkai selattume. Muruganar, in one of his songs, makes fun with Bhagavan. He says, "Oh Ramana, you are wandering in these Tiruvannamalai streets as a naked beggar. You know very well how to run a good household. Why don't you get married? Pukku pichai pulambit tirivadem. Why should you beg?" So, this is Bhagavan calls Arunachala as the naked being. Nakkanai nindrane Arunachala. With my heart melting, I came to you. The moment I entered here, I found you absolutely without any covering. Means the self was realized without any avarana, without any avidya, without any ignorance, as the infinite Chidakasha, whole, Purna. So, 2 songs, yesterday and today we have finished. Nunnuru Unayan. No, this is the 3rd song. Nunnuru Unayan Vinnuru Nannida. Ennalai Irumendra Arunachala. Noolarivu Ariya Pedayan. Endan Maalarivu Aruttarul Arunachala. Nekku Nekkurugiyan Pukkida Unai Pugan Nakkanai Nindrane Arunachala. I came to you with my heart melting with devotion, with bhakti. You can simply tell like this. With bhakti I came to you and you revealed to me what you are. I came to you with my own concept, thinking that Arunachala is a hill and that hill is Shiva. We should go round the hill. With that bhakti I came, but you revealed that you are not the hill. You are the Akasha. You are the infinite expanse of consciousness. One of Bhagavan's devotees, Dr. Padmanabhan, sang a beautiful song. He said, I came to you like a small boy who collects seashells in the seashore. Like that I came to you, but what I gained is a beautiful pearl. I came only to gather a seashell, but what I got is a beautiful precious pearl. என்ன பாட்டது? சிப்பி எடுக்க வந்த என் கையில் நல்ல முத்து கொடுத்த நாதா. I came to take a chippy, a seashell. That means many times we start our spiritual life like that only. I want to see God in some form, or I have to have some kind of this experience. Then later on you find that that experience becomes purna. ரெண்டு நிமிஷம் ஆயிடுத்து. ஸோ ஐ எழுந்திருக்கலாம், நான் கூட்டின்னு போகிறேன். நக்கனாய் நின்றனை அருணாச்சல. ஸோ திஸ் நக்கனாய் நின்றனை மீன்ஸ் with bhakti I came to you, but you revealed to me my jnana swarupa. This is the real process. You begin with the upasana, end up in jnana. So tomorrow we will continue from the next song. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Yato mamatma bhavasi tvameva tato na vachyam mama kinjidasti yatha taveshtam kurumam tatheva tvam atmanatham Ramanam bhajami.